is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. We have been beaten 3-0 at the City Ground to 17th place Nottingham Forest. Our last away game before Christmas. Utterly embarrassing result today for Tottenham Hotspur. Coming into this with positivity, having beaten Brentford and Slavia in back-to-back games, got on a late draw at Newcastle as well. Tottenham fans were believing. Have things starting to turn around? Is momentum shifting? Are we starting to play some attacking football? Are we starting to create some chances? Xavi's starting to cook. Well, all came crashing down today in what, in my opinion, is probably a season low point thus far for Tottenham and Thomas Frank. I'm here with Stel to go through what was an utterly shambles performance. And, going before the game, there was some positivity surrounding Spurs, given a bit of a positive momentum had been building, but we've been right crashing down to earth today, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. That could be our worst result of the season when you consider the opposition is 17th place in the league in a relegation battle, and we are the best team away from home. So we've seen some stinkers this year. We've seen our fair share of stinkers. That's definitely in the mix. Before the game, you asked, Stel, what do you think today? And I said, I'm interested to see what we do, because some fans have said we've turned a corner. We've definitely been more attacking. But other fans have said, come on, look at the opposition. They're not that good. So let's see today. It was awful. We had one shot on target. Our XG's in the mud again. Creativity non-existent. I think the alarming thing today, more than anything, Sim, is that, Frank's pragmatic, defensive, makes you tight at the back, hard to beat. We were awful defensively. Awful mistake from Archie Gray. Vicara got lobbed from a cross. This refusal, this absolute stubbornness to defend the edge of the box cost us, for the 100th time, a worldy strike, but we don't defend the edge of the box. So we're inviting teams, especially managers, have got half a brain cell, to encourage their team to get the ball to that space and shoot from there, because they know Spurs won't defend it. And then you've got a very lethargic performance where a lot of players were strolling, walking around, didn't seem intensive or highly motivated to want to win the game. Very few bright sparks. I say Moani was probably the brightest spark we had on the pitch today. For me, the most concerning thing today, and it's just today's game, was I don't know what Frank's half-time team talk was like, because we came out second half just as bad as the first half. And Forest were on the front foot, we were on the back foot, and they scored. No substitutions, made no sense at half-time. We weren't playing well, 2-0 down, and he keeps the same substitutions. And when he did make substitutions, it was questionable. Why take off Spence for Ben Davies? Nothing changed whatsoever. Why not go to a back three, stay with the back four? We conceded another goal. So very few positives to pick from that. I guess it comes down to one thing, Sim. What camp are you in? Are you in the camp of give it time, these things take patience, it's a process, Frank's inherited a bad squad? Or are you in the camp of this squad isn't as bad as losing to Fulham at home, getting bad at Forest away, not getting a victory against Wolves, who've only got 2 points all season? Is the squad that bad, or is it the manager that's making it that bad? What camp do you fall in? For me, I'm in the camp of I don't think this manager's doing a good job, and I stick by that. And he's only going to do a good job if he gets every single player that he wants. But part of a manager's job is to improve what you've got as well, to some degree, and that's not happening at all. So Liverpool next, really, really tough game coming up for us off the back of this terrible loss for me, Sim.
But today was like a chance to show that we really are building that momentum that we hopefully showed in the last few games. We were looking more attacking. The intent was there to get players forward. The fullbacks against Brentford flying forward, right? Spence and Porro really helping their wingers. There was just none of that today. No one getting those positions. Xavi had a complete off day. Look, to be fair, if I'm going to, be fair to Frank, a lot of players like Xavi, Gray, obviously unforced error for the goal. Vicario, did he put him under pressure? There was quite a lot of players who did commit quite a few unforced errors. But I guess when it's everyone doing it, everyone's being sloppy, there has to be something within how the team is coached and how they're set up. Maybe a lack of options, maybe a lack of thinking where the next pass is going to be. Is there thought in their head? Do they know where that next pass is going to be? Or are they thinking about it just as and when it comes? Is there a plan in possession to break teams down, play between the lines, ask different questions? There's a lot of standing around at the moment when we're on the ball. There's not enough movement, there's not enough interchanges. The game plan again seemed today, get the ball to Kudus, try and get a cross in and try and get a header in the box or something. That seems to be the majority of the plan. Now, I get Javi had a really bad game, but again, there was such a lack of a visible kind of way of attacking Forest. It seemed, I wouldn't say today it was like, I think we did try and attack today. I'm not saying we were just sitting back and defending, but we were so thoroughly beaten by a Forest side who completely outdid us tactically today. Like, they knew their game plan. They were very, very solid, and they were breaking on us like so sharply. Hudson-Odoi, Hutchinson, we just couldn't deal with those players. Igor Jesus was holding the ball up against our centre-backs, making it stick. We just weren't able to do that. I guess the question is it to do with the players, or is it to do with how the team is coached? And I do think today, for sure, the players were horrible. And, what can Frank do about that first goal? Gray, unforced error, just giving it straight to Igor Jesus, Sangare, allow him to tackle, and Hudson-Odoi had a tap in. Second goal, you can say massive slice of luck. It's a cross that went all the way in, over the keeper's head. The third goal, a belter from 30 yards from Sangare. So I have a bit of sympathy for the goals we did concede for Frank himself, because I don't know what can he really do about the goals we conceded. But on the flip side of that, you could definitely argue the third goal, how many times have we conceded that goal now this season? A shot from the edge of the box. Who created the more chances out? Take the goals away. Who created the more chances? Was it us or was it Forest?
Forest
by a large margin, I would assume.
They created two big chances
hit the post in the first few minutes.
Yeah,
Vicario had to make a few saves in the game. How many chances? The big thing for me is, I get we lost. I can take losing, but how many chances did we create? How we look toothless going forward? We have absolutely no game plan. We look like we're completely lost on the ball. Forest looked at us like we were easy pickings. We're 2-0 down, 3-0 down. We're getting laid by Nottingham Forest, a team who are not exactly known for expansive football, for their passing and moving game. Yet Anderson and all these players are passing and moving across. We lost the will to play during that game. It was embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. The players let their heads drop at 2-0. Right, we thought it was like the game was done. We conceded the second goal in 50th minute, just after half time, and that was it. It was like the game was done. It was like we had no answer to it. Our best chance of the game was a swivel volley on the edge of the box from Archie Gray, which forced a save from the keeper. That was our best chance of the game. We had no chances in this game, and that is just a common theme this season. This isn't the first time it's happened.
It's coaching, Sim.
When that happens, right, as much as I can have sympathy with people are going to come in, maybe people are going to call in, or people say after the game, it's clearly the players. Look, Gray made that mistake. Look at the individual mistakes we're making. I get that, and I have sympathy for that argument, because the players wasn't an excuse today. But when it's a common theme through every single game this season, most games, where we're really struggling to create chances and really struggling to get near the opposition box, that can't just be individuals.
So I've got a question for you then. If it's the players...
Okay, yeah.
If it's the players, then why did we beat West Ham 3-0 away, Everton 3-0 away, beat Brentford 3-0 at home? Was it 2-0? Mm-hmm. Why did we beat Man City away? Why have we only lost one game in the Champions League this season? If the players are the problem, why are we getting these results?
Let me ask you. I agree with you, and you know what? You're not shocking, Sam. I'm looking at Forest this season. How much XG they've conceded?
They've been awful, Sim.
I know they've been awful, but
they're an awful team.
I'm looking at the XG they've conceded against opponents this season. You know who now holds the record for the lowest XG against Forest this season?
Don't say Tottenham.
It's Tottenham.
That's unbelievable.
The lowest before that they had against them was against Bournemouth was 0.6. Today we did 0.3.
See what I find.
So are we the worst team Forest have played this season? Is that what we're saying?
This team is not as bad as what we're seeing. They're not. In fact, we're not a bad team. We're not great. We're not deserved of being in the top 4, and we are definitely in a real tough battle for top 6. But to be 11th and to lose these kinds of games, you can't just blame the players, because then you've got to praise them for when they beat Brentford, and praise them when we beat Everton, and praise them when we beat Man City away. It can't be. We can't have a season where it's, oh, we lose a game, players are shit. We win a game, Frank masterclass. What is that? Because, and I'll remind everyone, not just Ange, but Conte, Mourinho, every other manager, but Ange is the most recent one. Ange got blasted for losing games. And everyone said, and I want to remind every Spurs YouTuber said this, all of you, and podcasters and fans, so many said, a better coach coaches better than what we're seeing. Well, where is it? I thought Frank is that better coach. Now it's, oh, what do you want Frank to do with these players? Well, then where was that excuse for Conte and for Ange and for Nuno and for everyone else? We're in this weird paradigm where Frank's been given a different set of metrics and a different type of pass at the club, and the players are getting all the blame. I don't see how certain players... Look, we've got some fringe players, okay, like Tel and Odebert. Mm-hmm. They divide opinions. Some fans say they're shit. Some fans say, they're young, give them a chance. Well, when? When are they going to get the game time to show whether they're good or not? Playing them 30 minutes here, 45 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 2 games in a row. A player needs a good 10 games in a row to find their feet, build some partnerships on the pitch, get a feel for the game, and build some momentum. And if they have a bad game, keep playing them, because that's how we're going to see whether or not they're actually good or whether that was just a bad game. But the problem is we're not doing that with our players, so we don't know. I think...
Well, he tried today to keep some stability, didn't he? Because we've accused him of chopping and changing, yet in the last 3 games, especially the last 2 Premier League games, has been unchanged, isn't it? So I don't know when the last time he did an unchanged lineup was, but this must be the first time in a while he's done an unchanged lineup from Premier League game to Premier League game. So he tried to keep some consistency.
But Sim, that's a very small window to operate in, like 2-3 games. Mm-hmm. You've got to do it for 10 games. You've got to do it for a significant period of time to really see what's going on. Today, the one thing that really stands out with me under Thomas Frank is how awful our passing is. The way we give up the ball with ease it beggars belief, and that is something that is drilled and coached on the training ground. You can take a bunch of average players and make them a good passing team that might not win games, that might not be super effective, but they keep possession of the ball because you've just drilled it into them, and that's all you do. You can do that. So for us to be this poor at passing the ball and keeping possession, it's because we don't give it enough time on the training pitch, and we focus the training on other aspects of the game that Frank and the team want to work on more so. What that is, I don't know, because I can't see it. At first, I thought they were focusing more on defending and being pragmatic and hard to beat. But our defence has been crap for 6-7 weeks. It's not been great. So yeah. I can't say that it's defending that we're working mostly on. And look, with Ange, you knew we didn't do any defending. We barely coached defending. You could see it. And it was keep the ball, pass it, get the ball forward quickly, try and play one-touch football, and if you get into the pocket and the ball drops, strike back of the net. You could see what he was trying to do. Now, whether it was a good way of playing football or not is for the fans to decide. But with Frank, I don't know what it is that we are working on. I don't understand it. Because there was a period of me where I said to him, we look like we're a good set-piece team now, but when's the last time we scored from a set-piece?
It's been a while. And you know what's funny about that?
When's the last time we scored from a set-piece?
I was looking at the stat, there was about set-pieces. We create the least chances per corner than anyone else in the Premier League. So we're actually not good at set-pieces. We've just been scoring... We scored some at the beginning, but actually, like, chances created per set-piece, per corner, we're near the bottom.
So
we've been like outperforming basically the amount of chances we create.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, right? I mean, that's just ridiculous. What are we good at, Sim?
I don't know. Honestly,
what are we actually good at?
We're good at maybe getting kudos on the ball a lot. and not necessarily creating anything.
You know when you're at school, right? And you play football at lunchtime.
Yeah.
And everyone lines up against the wall. And everyone picks, like you pick, and then the best kids get picked first, and then the rubbish kids get picked last, okay?
Yeah.
Right? And then when you have the match, it was always get it to him, he's the best player.
Yeah, basically.
We've become that. We're a primary school football team. Get it to Kudus.
It's just
get it to him.
But that seems our whole game plan. And as you say, today they had 2-3 players around him a lot. Today, and he struggled to like really get involved. Xavi was having a really off day. Richarlison was shocking. Moani did try, I would say. Moani like tried his best, like to do something, but again, he was difficult for him. I also don't think he's a winger, Moani. As much as I like him, I don't think he's a winger.
Do you know my one issue with Moani, and it's the same issue I've got with Kudus. They hold on to the ball that one bit too long. Too often, not always, but there's moments where you think if you just made that pass, we were in. We were so in, and they don't make it. And Mohamed has the same weakness in his game that needs to be improved on. Xavi Simons today was just bang average, and that's me being polite.
His subs to change the game, I did not get them as well. It didn't make us better.
The Ben Davies one was a.
That was you bring on when you're pushing forward and you're going to leave more space. You bring on Davis.
I know, I said it.
That didn't make sense. And it didn't.
You got to laugh, otherwise you're going to cry.
I think Paulini helped a bit, but it's not like he's going to give you more ability on the ball, but I guess he's on there to win some more duels. And who else did you bring on? He brought on Bergvall, who didn't have a great cameo either, unfortunately. But that one made more sense. But why not bring on Telnode a bit earlier? Why are you giving them 15 minutes? It didn't make sense to me. I think the tactic, like when we didn't look any better when.
Do you know? You can bring whatever play you want to this football club, right? The way we play football, the intent of the game is the stumbling block. We don't have that intent that we're going to dominate the ball, we're going to put you on the back foot, and we're coming for your throats. What we do is we have this very cautious approach, and we try and sprinkle some attacking play on top of it. And I think we've had a couple of games this season where we've been very attacking, but because the opposition offered nothing up front, it made us look more attacking than what we actually were, because the opposition had nothing up top to trouble us. Whereas today, they had one or two options to trouble us, and it then stifles our ability to attack, which shouldn't be the case, because we shouldn't be letting them attack us. We should be pushing them so far back that the pressure's all on them. But for the whole game, I think it's fair to say most of the pressure was on us the whole game. And we invited the errors, we invited the mistakes, we allowed their dominance in attacking play to cause us to concede silly goals today.
The problem is, right, we've had, and I do get the whole give him time thing, and I do want to give him time. And at the moment, I don't see if we would sacking him unless we have a plan in place. I'm not interested in getting an interim in or anything like that. So I think you might as well give it a bit more time to see if we can correct these things. The problem is, we're now getting close to 19 games. That's like half a season. You should start seeing things be getting better after 19 games. I understand you're going to have some rough patches. I understand you're going to go through some low points and sticky situations. The problem is, you had the Bournemouth game earlier in the season. You've had so many of these instances now, and they keep happening. It seems like, for one moment we think maybe we turned a corner, beating Brentford at home. Everyone's like, okay, well, that was good. Maybe it's more encouraging. But then it's like the next game is like worse than it's ever been, or one of the worst. It's like back to square one. It's like before square one. Like, if I could if we would have lost today, but, you create chances, you're just on the end of a 2-1 or 3-2 defeat, and, you give it a good go, but you concede those 3 goals, but, you see you're creating chances, we miss a few, and end up on the losing side, but you're unlucky, whatever, I can take that. But we were thoroughly outplayed again today, and it's not the first time it's happened this season, it's not the first time it's happened recently. You're supposed to be building off some positive momentum you've got in recent weeks, yet there clearly has been nothing learned from I thought maybe we'd learn something, things had changed, but clearly off the back of what I'm seeing, are we going in the right direction? Is there evidence that there were real lessons learned, or did we just have a one-off good performance against Brentford? Was that what happened? Like, was that the reality? Was that just a one-off performance?
The league table never lies, okay? The league table never lies. If you're 17th, if you're 15th, 11th, 6th, wherever you are, there's a reason for it, okay? There's a reason for it. Either the squad is absolute garbage, or the manager isn't that good, or there's mitigating circumstances. It's one of the three. Are there mitigating circumstances? No, not for me.
Well, people would say Kulusevski, Madison, Solanke.
But we signed Moani, Kudus, and Simmons, and they're all fit. So that kind of counsels it. Then you have the players. Well, like I've said, we've seen results this year where we look good. So I can't suddenly just say, well, hold on, what? 1 week the players are good, 1 week they're shit, 1 week they're good. That doesn't work for me. There's a common thread that's happening now. One is this XG. Mm-hmm. This is becoming a common factor now. Mm-hmm. Then it's the inconsistency. And the other one is...
What I'd say is we've been consistently bad and with a few sputtering in of good.
Yeah, okay. So inconsistency of results. Mm-hmm. Performances, you're right, we are consistently below par. That, for me, I personally... And look, guys, call in and tell me that you disagree. I put it on Frank. I do. Because, you know, one thing I keep thinking to myself, Sim, if Pochettino had Romero and Van der Ven, and he had Porro and Spence, we wouldn't play like this.
No.
If he had Paulinho in the six, like he had Wanyama, mm-hmm. if he had Bergvall, Simmons, if he had Moani, Kudus, I honestly think under Poch and even Redknapp, you wouldn't necessarily see a brilliant team that's challenging Arsenal and City and Villa. I don't think that for a second. But I do think you'll see a balanced team that knows when to defend and how to attack, when to slow a game down, when to raise the tempo. I think you'd find a more balanced, controlled team if Redknapp and Poch inherited this squad. Do I think they'll challenge for top four? No. But do I think would be 11th? Absolutely not. That's what I keep going back to in my head. What would Redknapp and Poch do if they had these players? And I think we wouldn't be seeing 0.2 XG. We wouldn't be seeing 5 shots a game.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be seeing a defence that 1 minute they look good, next minute we're just wide open like Ange Ball. Mm-hmm. So I have to put it on Frank because I truly believe, not just up here, but in my heart, Poch and Redknapp do a better job with this current squad. But I want to caveat this, not top 4 though, mm-hmm. but better than this. Is that a fair assessment?
100%. I think it's a clear pattern now with how we play that when we're not creating chances. And we're all hoping it's going to change. It was better in one game against Brentford, but the common theme at the moment is our severe lack of creativity. And that has to be a manager issue. That has to be, because if it's a one-off game that we're not creating the chances, you can say players should be better in that game. But it's a constant pattern. With the same patterns are playing out. And fair enough, we played well against Brentford. That's one game. Like more often than not, even when we were winning games, we were outperforming our XG and we were just getting by.
That stat you posted about Spurs have got the worst XG against Nottingham Forest
this season. Yeah,
that is the most damning stat of the lot this year. Out of all the damning stats I've heard, mm-hmm. that for me is an absolute shocker. Like and real.
They've played all half the league, basically.
Yeah.
They're basically and we're the worst.
That is scraping the barrel.
After 16 games, so we're getting close to halfway through the season.
Who have we got next? Next game we've got Liverpool at home.
Then Brentford again, isn't it?
Is that away? They're not bad at home.
They're not bad at home, yeah.
Palace, we've got Palace.
Oh, Palace away.
Right, see.
Are we going to win that? Then Brentford away.
Palace are on a bit of a bad run. Glasner's had a bit of a disagreement with the board. But do you trust Tottenham to go there and capitalise on that?
No chance.
And that's the worrying thing,
And
Sim.
you know what? And-
There's no belief as fans that we're going to do it.
And my, Josh King has, he's been WhatsApping me throughout today. He's not happy, but I think he brings up a good point. Like throughout the season, right? Not even throughout the season, especially the last few weeks when we're not having bad performances, we're giving excuses, not excuses, but reasons like, oh, it's because we've got Paulinho and Bentancur. Oh, it's because he's not playing Xavi. Oh, it's because he's not using Graham Bergvall enough. Oh, all these reasons, and yet today he played. The team. Everyone. So
who's Josh blaming? Who's he?
No, he's blaming Frank. But I'm saying I think it's a good.
No, I was wondering. I don't know.
No. But he's saying like today. He's played the team everyone wants, right? He's played the team that everyone thinks this is a good team to attack with. This is a good team.
But then the counter argument you're going to hear is, but that just proves the squad is shit.
But everyone's been saying this is the team we should be playing, and then we played like this against Brentford.
But that's my point.
We saw how well they played.
But Sim, that's my point. I'm not agreeing with the point, but what you're going to hear from some people is, but that just shows no matter who he plays, they're just all crap. That's what you're going to hear.
But it doesn't make sense. Like today, look at the team.
That's going to be the counter argument
we got on the pitch. Like that should be
like Danny Kiraku. That's his argument. His argument is, but Sim, you've just proved my point. He's played them all, and they're all rubbish. Whereas I will never accept in a million years that Van der Ven, Romero, Spence, Porro, Paulinho, Kudus, Moani, Bergvall are shit. I'm not accepting that from any Spurs fan. I can listen to Richie being crap. And Odebert and Tell, and we can argue about them. But for me, 80% of the players on that pitch today are more than capable to create more, score more, and put in a better performance like that on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. That's where my argument sits.
I agree with you. That's exactly my point. That's what I've been saying all season. That's pretty much what I've been saying all season.
We have an agreement in the studio.
I'm not saying like we are nailed on for top 4 or even top 6 or anything, but I'm just saying there's a consistent theme here of our attackers barely, not even like creating decent amounts, like shit amounts, like bottom of the barrel amounts, like less than Wolves and Burnley kind of amounts.
That's unacceptable.
And that's unacceptable. My big problem. And it's happening consistently. It's happened throughout the season. We're now nearly halfway through the season and it's still happening on a regular basis. And there have to be big question marks of this manager. And
he's getting a free pass.
I'm not saying sack him tomorrow. I'm just saying this can't go on. You can't carry on.
But he's not going to change it, Sim. Like nothing will change under Frank unless he gets all the players he wants in, because he can't coach or develop or work with the current crop. That's where we're at. Anyone that thought, we just need a proper coach, get a proper coach in, and it was a nonsense. The whole thing was a nonsense. The reality is we have hired a manager that can't do much more than what the previous manager had. Was capable of that, and we're seeing it in the stats and we're seeing it in the results. Thomas Frank will not do well at Spurs unless he's given all the players he wants, and even then we don't know because it's still unproven. That's where we're at. So the question is, Sim, here's a question for you: do you trust him to be given 100 million in January?
That's a great question. That is a great question, and I don't know. Because I worry about who he's going to prioritise.
Who's he going to attract? What top player is going to look at us and say, yeah?
But the thing is, in a weird way, the fact that you look at our midfield and our lack of passing ability, right? And he went and signed Paulinho in the summer. Now, I like Paulinho. I think he's a good player. But the fact that he was the player identified as what we're really missing when we don't have a guy who can pass the ball forward.
We need a kind of Manu Kone.
Or someone like that. Like
brilliant player.
We need a high volume passer who can set the tempo of the game. And Paulinho's come in, and yes, he gets more tackles in, and that's great. And he's stronger. But he's a limited player. He's a very limited player. And he wasn't on the pitch for a lot of it.
He's a traditional 6, isn't he?
But it worries me about.
But that's his pragmaticness,
That's
though.
the thing. That's his
defensiveness.
It worries me about what he sees and what he wants. Is he prioritising like just real physical players with a limited technical ability, or is he going to, look at the top teams and try and get closer to them? That's what I'm worried about. But look, let's start getting fans on because it's your chance to have your say.